Hello, hello. Sorry about that. Forgot my water. Okay. So, last time on Burner Percent, we were working on our outpost design. We were debating on which outpost I wanted to use. I don't think there's a huge difference either way, but I would like to complete both designs regardless. Because they're very similar. It really comes down to, do I need it to run for 6 hours, pretty much. So what I could do now, it will make filling the train tricky, but what I could do is make like the first like 5 outposts the other design, and then switch to the slightly better design after that, which does save between like 5 to 10 minutes in the startup time. It's hard to say, but it's about 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes. Hello, B Jonas. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, basically, this is the design we have been working with. You can tell there's a lot of dead space. We have the other design here, which is much more dense. Saves some roboports, saves some power poles. It's not huge savings either way, but it does save some. And it would also be, this is a much easier to go through and pre-build the power poles, because I can just run along the edge and place the roboports, whereas these are kind of dispersed throughout. So it has a couple advantages there. However, it's much less safe. So we have to add some more circuits to this, because right now it runs pretty good if it can get a full red belt of solid fuel. That doesn't happen that often. Like, it does, but depending on bot build order, it can get it very inconsistently. So we need to remove any instance where it can brown out, or at least most instances where it can brown out. It's like for some... Wait, why is that one on logic? Did I really have issues with that inserter of all things, or did I use the wrong one? Oh wait, maybe when it tessellates it's different? Really, I had trouble with that inserter. Yeah, so this, you can kind of tell, like, this is obviously a problematic design. If I had to put what would normally be a safe inserter on logic, like I wouldn't normally have to, but it does seem like we needed logic there. But that's okay. That's something we can work with. We also need to remove efficiency modules from this. So I think someone had a suggestion to use an upgrade planner to remove them, which I think is really good, especially since it's a pretty consistent pattern. Oh, that's... Well, wait a minute. Is that right? Can I make this a yellow assembler? Or, sorry, a gray assembler? Or does that not go fast enough? This consumes 1 copper per second. Wait a minute. This is a lot cheaper. Is it more power efficient? I don't think so. Actually, it is. Should I use a gray assembler in the outpost? I feel like I should, right? Like, it's just cheaper. I'm assuming we can get them through the base. That's kind of the only issue. We don't really have them designed to be consumed, but I think that's easy enough to do. And this is something that can be applied to both. It's not a huge savings. I don't think... Let's see, it will save about 150 steel, about 300 gears, 200 electronic circuits per outpost. Not massive, but it does seem like it might be free. So that could work. No, that could work well. And then these ones, honestly, we don't necessarily need the efficiency modules, but I do think they might be worth it. Okay, so yeah, we'll downgrade those. Let's see. These are individual. Yes. Yeah, this is much easier to modify. I will say that. if It's not anything if not a consistent, easy to use pattern, which does count for. Well, it counts for. It doesn't count for much, but it does. When I have to make a change, it helps. It doesn't help like during the run, but right here it's nice. Okay, so this should be here. Okay. So that might not be worth it. I can always upgrade it later. I missed some. It should be 72 and 72. So we clearly missed. Oh, we missed the top row. Oh, the top row we re-upgraded to look at the cost. Okay, so that does make it a little bit harder to fill the train. Not significantly though. It definitely makes production easier. So I think we'll be okay with this, especially with belt buffer. Okay, so that gives me a much easier to reach goal, I think, in terms of efficiency modules. So that's 134, and then if I paste this, or sorry, 144, 134 would be a really weird number. This one has 132, so that makes it a total of 270 or so efficiency modules. I'm assuming this is prioed, yeah, so these don't run very often once this starts, just based on pipe prio and inserter prio. It's not a perfect system, but I think on average, just having efficiency modules on the prioed side it saves about 150 to 200 efficiency modules, and doesn't increase the average power cost that significantly. Just the initial like 30 minutes running, and then after that, power drops to about half, or in this case, probably like a quarter. So I think that's worth it. We'll have enough. We have enough power overall. We just can't do a massive power. We can't have them all be consuming full power because that actually adds a lot of. I think that increases our water requirement by like 10-20%, which is actually a lot. But yeah, this looks okay. Okay, so yeah, that's a lot of efficiency modules. That will make like we were reaching 400, I think, 350 to 400. So now that we only need 270, we are doing very good. Okay. Redesign final two. My naming system is garbage. I can't think of any other way to describe it, but yeah, it's hard to follow how I name things. Okay. Those are good. Next step with this, unfortunately, this is the tricky step. Making this safe. Okay, so this is probably this is early on, so it's probably safe. I guess. Do I think this left lane will cause a problem? Because I know it's a problem in these inside lanes. Because if I decrease this to half, I believe I had issues with them browning out. Although I don't know, it might have been a prio problem. It might have just been because I didn't have a prio set. We don't have a balancer, do we? Oh, we don't need a balancer. They're side-loaded. Oh, this also isn't fully connected. Cool. Where does this even go? Here? I can't tell. I don't think that was the right spot. What's the fuel lane supposed to connect to? This thing? I slightly broke the blueprint. That might be correct. You know, I don't think it is. I think we accidentally broke the... I accidentally broke the belt blueprint when we copied it somewhere else. How did we break fuel? Where is it supposed to go? I I don't know which So I cut most of it to get a better idea of how much belt that's cost. I tried to cut everything that was combined between two builds, or the same between the two builds. Outpost redesign, Tice, Tice, 55. Tice old outpost. Neither of those are correct. Where is this? Wait, why am I in the main? Why am I in the main folder? Oh, that's why. Redesign. Did I not? Am I in the wrong save? Hmm. Wait, this one, this one works. I'm so confused. I am so confused. Um, did I accidentally just deconstruct something? Because that's the belt that I was connecting to. Hello, Tice. Welcome, welcome. I actually broke my build a little bit, so I'm trying to fix that right now. Oh, I see what it is. I cut this section. Okay, there we go. This is copper. How did I delete just the belt? Does the belt have a higher hitbox than the splitter? That's really weird. I'm trying to figure out how to make this one safer right now. Because right now, at low fuel densities, it's a little bit unsafe. But it's not the one that I thought would be unsafe, which is why it's really weird. So I guess we just kind of wait here a little bit for it to finish. I don't know. It was one of those things that was weirdly inconsistent. So it might not be a problem. Let's see. We don't have empty status icons. But sometimes this inserter would die. Because I don't know what it was about it. It feels like it should be safe. I wonder if I already took care of it with a belt prio. Or maybe it could have been that it was only an issue when it was like less than a fourth of a belt. That's very possible. I know I had to put a lot of inserters on Logic. Like pretty much I'd say like half of the vertical inserters are now on Logic to make this work. Because it was only safe getting a full belt. That alarm is saying it's started. Or about to start. That I was using that when I set up the start time. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where the speaker is. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. So, how do I do this? It's not a problem right now. So, like, is it something that needs to be fixed? The fact that I can't reproduce it right now makes me think that it might have been an outlier, or I already fixed it. One of the two. Because this might have been the fix for it. Having a prio there. Does the side the fuel come from matter? Yes. But I don't know in which way. I did not swap any of the sides the fuel comes from, though. But yeah, it's one of those things where technically it would matter, but I don't know which way is better. Wait, do we have stack size? Oh yeah, actually that is a fix. Um, I could decrease the stack size of this inserter. That would technically fix it. But I don't know. It would also increase how often the inserter has to grab fuel, right? And actually, yeah, it would. But either way, it's only grabbing fuel once every like 10 minutes, so maybe it doesn't matter. I'm assuming this doesn't have a huge effect on performance. Just having the stack size be smaller. Because that would fix it. The issue is it tries to grab two, and by the time it tries to grab two, this one's stolen it. Yeah, it should take so long to start with this little fuel. Was it just, it might have just been, yeah, I guess maybe it's fine. I swear they were browning out in the tests. Anyway, it looks like this actually isn't enough fuel to test it because I think we consume more fuel than that in the entire lane, so that's never gonna start. Okay, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. If it does break, it is technically something we can fix by like deconstructing just a small stretch. Although that might, that would probably, bots probably wouldn't like that. But early on, we could fix it that way. Yeah, these ones are safe. Apparently, it doesn't like grabbing from a curve or from an underground after a curve. So this one I had to put on logic. Another fix I made, it also apparently doesn't like grabbing from a underground after a splitter. I think because of the weird way these compress the fuel. Like they change. I don't know what it is about it, but I know there's some weirdness when belts go through splitters for like fake length or something. And I think that just makes it that for some reason this wasn't reliable. But I moved it up one tile and now it works a lot better. Okay, I don't see any dead inserters, so... Oh, wait. Okay, so... Yeah, that... Oh, I see a lot of them. Okay. So, it is a thing still. And it's a very important thing, because this is actually... 9 assembler... This is about 9 assemblers running at half speed. So that's like a, what, 3 to 5% loss in the entire outpost. Honestly, extra UPS, that's more of a loss than losing UPS from putting it on logic. And unfortunately, we can't change the side of the fuel, can we? No, we can't. Can I make it less dense? If I use 2 more entities, I can avoid the side load. That might fix it. So yeah, it definitely was when it has barely enough fuel down here, they start to struggle. So if we like shift this down, this is gonna kill the logic. This is gonna be annoying to shift. But the idea is basically, what if we don't cut that corner? It just might be a better scenario for what side of the belt the fuel is on. I guess I don't technically need the logic right now because the logic that I'm breaking isn't going to affect the start of this. Because these do have higher priority than the inserters that are on logic. So I think we'll be fine for testing purposes. Okay, so now we delete it, we replace it, and we wait. So yeah, this is gonna change the side the fuel is on. Hopefully it helps. Might do nothing. Very good chance it does nothing, actually. Very, very good chance it does nothing. Let's see, what are we looking for? These ones need to run more consistently. I mean, they haven't browned out. That's a good sign, right? I mean, I want to run the whole. I need to run it until at least the whole half the lane is done. Basically this entire bottom section. But that fix, it's going to add 2 entities for every splitter, so it's going to add 5 times like 6, I think. Yeah, so it's going to add 30 entities. It's going to increase the startup time by about probably a few seconds. That's worth it. If it makes them run more consistently, it's worth it. Especially without logic. That's a big thing. Running more consistently without having to put them on logic is big. It looks like everything would still be powered if I make this change too, so that's nice. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't increase cost much. I think that makes it more reliable. I think we're good now. The inserters that we can't really do like side swapping on to fix are now on logic, and the other inserters, and then everything else has just had the splitter location manipulated to make fuel grabbing a little bit better. Okay. So now, now we get the save again. Now we have to copy this change over to here in a non-destructive way. So first things first, all of these get shifted down. Oh, this is not going to be easy, is it? Oh, I forgot how many inserters are actually attached to these substations. The answer is a lot. Is this necessary? I don't think that one's necessary. I think I just accidentally placed the substation. Okay, these have 1 and 2. And okay, fortunately these connect through that one, so that makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to actually put things on our hotbar. 4, 5, and let's do 5 and 6. 4, 5, and 6, because that's the order I'll be placing it. We do this. 5, 6, 6, and then there we go. That was not an efficient way to do that. Okay. Actually, we can reduce one of the entity losses by placing an underground there. That helps a little bit. It doesn't help a lot, but it does help a little bit. I guess this isn't that bad. We don't have to manually change every single one. We do have to delete a lot of belts. Let's see, where does this go? Okay, so yeah, we delete. Can we fix this one? Yeah, this one can still be fixed. Why does this one not have logic going through it? Wait, how does this work? Oh, does this piggyback off of the nearby logic? Is that how that works? Forgot, I still have an alarm in this version. Classic. That alarm tells me my base is almost fully started. That's how I was measuring the start time. Would have been better to actually measure this one. This one right here, I think, is the lowest priority, or one of these 2 belts, but I just put it at the end to give a almost about to finish warning, which honestly might have been better, because it gives you more flexibility. Yeah, so are these just not on logic? How does this one work? Oh, dogs are barking. I'm assuming it's being picked up by the mic. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Okay. So these don't have logic for this entire row. Is that how it works? Am I missing something? Let's see, this takes care of the logic on the left side and the right side. This one did the left, would have done the left and the right side too. Oh! Oh, because we only need a power pole every other lane. That's how it works. Okay. No, that's not too bad then. Okay. So now, hopefully, this should be symmetrical. Or not symmetrical, identical. So if I paste this, that should work. And that should work without any shift clicking. And that fixes the wires. Good. Same thing here. And same thing here. Oh, that one's actually done. Oh, wait, that one's rotated weird. Is it? Isn't it? Yeah, for some reason these substations look different than those. It doesn't have any downside. It just is very confusing. It looks a little bit odd. Okay. So I think that is all of them. Oh, wait, never mind. Not quite. Now, theoretically, I think this design tessellates well. However, because of the undergrounds, it's not a perfect tessellation. Which means I don't know if I can just like delete the next half and carry on. I don't think that would work. I think, yeah, I think we just need to do some manual fixes. How do we do this? Power the roboports in the new outpost. But yeah, I wanted to at least finish the redesign. I don't know if we'll... I really don't know if we'll go with the redesign. Because it has some other issues. But I'm not sure if they'll matter yet. I need to do some time estimates to know if it will matter. Because this doesn't have a way anymore that we can extend it to run for 6 hours. But that might not matter. There's a good chance that doesn't matter. Okay. What's the fastest way to fix this? Do I just delete like this entire section and then copy it from the top and hope that everything works out? Or do I just build it? Honestly, I think just doing it by hand might be faster. Like something like that it's not terribly slow. And I feel like it's a little bit less prone to mistakes. I guess what we should check is if I copy this, does it paste nicely here? The fact that I can't line it up is a bit rough. Let's see, where is it? That does not paste nicely. I definitely copied the wrong section to line up with that. Okay. Yeah, we'll just we'll just do a manual connection. I think that's our best. I think that's our best bet. There probably are more efficient ways to do that, but I don't manipulate circuits enough. Or just do like stuff in editor mode enough to really know the quick ways to mass change blueprints consistently. I'm assuming there are just some tricks I could do, or like there are probably ways I could try to line this up that'll work, but I think I moved too much for that to, or I think I've changed too much of this for that to be super seamless. Once we get past this section, I think things get easier though. It's just until we get past this point, there isn't a very good pattern because these kind of break up the pattern. They'll interfere with like the pasting. But after that, everything should be okay. Okay. They seem to be connected. That's good. What about this one? Okay, now we go to the next row. Delete, delete, delete. Okay. Delete, and then we'll do all of the substations, which is really only 3. Then I'll place all of the belts. Okay, this is a little bit more optimal. Okay, and now if we copy this section, now that we've moved the substation, does it work? This lines up in a very weird spot, right here. Yeah, that does not line up. Is that the wrong substation? Yeah, see, because of the copper side loading, I can't get the blueprints to play nicely. So it looks like manual fixes it is. 1, 2, 3. 1, okay. And then this substation would be necessary here and here. Maybe after this row things get better. I hope so. I mean, if not, we're pretty close. That's the wrong one. But yeah, if it doesn't get better, we're at least pretty close to it getting better. Okay, now I think I can copy. No, I still can't copy because the copper lane. Yeah, okay. Okay, those are attached to logic, I think. At least 2.0 dragging logic wires will be easy. Yeah, that would fix everything. Just being able to nudge this down like a single tile. That would fix everything except for this replacement. But honestly, that replacement's the easy part. Also, why don't I just remove the substations in this logic? That would make things a lot simpler. Yeah, no, that makes that blueprint a lot easier. Okay. Hello, Solugun. Welcome. Silhagen, I definitely read that in a completely the wrong order of letters. But yeah, welcome. Thanks for the follow. We're doing something mind-numbing right now. We're trying to shift all of the circuits by like a couple tiles, which in this version of Factorio is still very painstaking. Very much will be fixed in the expansion, but for now, this is what we got. But yeah, we're redesigning this outpost, which is fun. Still don't know if it's better. Could be a completely fruitless effort, but it's different, and that is still fun. Okay, and then where's this? Did we miss this one? Yes, we did. Oh, we missed this one entirely. Okay. You know, I'm realizing now that I probably shouldn't have made those connections because we need to get iron through to make this work as well. Okay. Okay, how do we get iron through? I believe if I shift everything, 1 tile did not look like it would work. 2 tiles, I think, would. So we would put a gap. Wait, is that the halfway point? Oh, geez, that is the halfway point. Okay, so that's also where we sideload copper. So it's really just this that's the problem. But if we shift this down by 2 tiles, by 1 tile, we can get a belt through there, but then we run into the substation. So we have to shift the substation down as well. And it would still run into it, because this would be here. Well, actually, that goes down one, this goes up one. That does make it through. Oh, but we can't split off of the lane yet. Okay, so two tiles. So I guess the easiest way to do that will just be to cut this, shift it 2 tiles, and go try to fix what's possibly broken. I think. Well, maybe easiest is the wrong word. I don't think there's an easy an easy fix here in general. I think it's just a little bit of a manual stitch, which is fine. We're gonna keep those because they help a lot with the planning, so I don't forget something. Then we can probably save some entities as well. Okay, is that right? Yeah, that was probably side loaded. It would be weird if it wasn't. Okay, now we have space for iron to get through, so that could just go through here, and then it could split off. Wait, did I not need 2 tiles? No, I did. Wait, did I? You know, I might have been able to make do with 1 tile. Oh, but this can't go there. It has to go there. Oh, that's why I want. Oh, that's why I wanted 2 tiles, so I could avoid this loop. That's not honestly, that loop isn't necessarily problematic. Especially since it gives me a spot to sideload, since I do actually need to sideload this. And then it can go through again. It can copy this again. That's on the wrong side of the belt. Okay. I mean, I think we can save that 1 tile. Don't know if it's worth it, but I think we can save that 1 tile if I wanted. It definitely seems... It seems like a viable option. Can this be moved? Possibly. If we can move this to this gap, then I think we definitely... I don't see anything losing power coverage if we shift that one up. Oh wait, but if we shift it up, or if we shift it down, we still have to have that. Actually, that's not too bad. Wait, is it split enough? Oh, these need to be red belts. But other than that, I think it's all right. So this would be split here, and probably we need to force a side load. Wow, that 1 tile really makes that much of a difference, huh? That's weird. So it'd be like that. Which is totally okay. And then this substation goes here now, and it looks like it still works. Then we go 5, and then green is over here, and then red is over here. Okay, I don't know why I had those connecting directly to the substation, actually. That makes copying this a lot more annoying. Okay. I think that looks good. This needs to be a red belt, at least for the first 2 segments. Probably 3 segments, actually. Which means we can definitely save some undergrounds here. And some red belt. That is unfortunately a lot more expensive than I thought that would be. That's okay. You like your invention of running both a green and a red wire? Not sure what you mean. I mean, I'm running both a green and a red wire on mine too. You do combine them though. You do read two lanes at once. That's the difference, right? You do two lanes at a time instead of one, which allows you to remove the big electric poles that I had, which is very nice. I do like that one. So even if I don't use this outpost, I did steal that combining the two for my old one. Just because it just saves like 40 big electric poles. Because yeah, that was all I was using them for. I guess this works. I guess, okay. Because of balancing, we have to keep this as a red belt. Otherwise, this could probably become yellow red here, but it still has to be red. Then it has to side load red. Like this. That's a little bit weird. But yeah, just because of balancing purposes, I think that makes sense. Yeah, okay, that works. That works totally fine. And now it can drop to a red belt and go to this last section. So this gets moved up. This goes under. And then this gets side loaded onto the other side, which would be here. Okay, so how many entities does this add? 10. What is that? Another 10, maybe 15. Okay, so I think we still have fewer entities. But yeah, I did like this. This is really cool. It does make the start delay like 30 seconds. I think it makes the start delay like 15 to 30 seconds higher for a few assembly machines. Like half of the assembly machines now start a little bit later, but I don't think that's really a bottleneck. Oh yeah, I cut all the logic. Yeah, I haven't replaced the logic yet. Yo, what's up, WC? Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for the prime. But yeah, I haven't redone the logic since I wasn't, because I'm just in case I shift them again. I didn't really want to spend too much time redoing the logic. Okay, and now we come from the left. Actually, wait a minute. How many lanes do we have? Oh, right. I know what it is. We have 5 lanes that we have to fill with this. 5 half lanes, which is a really weird number. So we have 3 half lanes from the left, 1 half lane from the right, which means the right can be entirely a yellow belt. I do like that. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, can I go through here? Huh, wait. Did I not change it symmetrically? How do I make this work? I shifted it by 1 tile, but because these are kind of like mirrors of each other, it's not working. We don't have this gap anymore between the furnace lane. Do we? Oh, well, we kind of do. Okay, we kind of have the gap. It's not exactly the same, but it's workable. Yeah, we have to use 1 red belt, but that's okay. So this goes down. It yells timber. Okay. And then we shift this up. We sideload it. We send this through. We sideload it. We go down. That won't work. We can't sideload it there. We have to sideload it here. Okay, let's. This looks good, I think. The entity savings, a few undergrounds that we can save. Overall, not a huge amount of entity saving we can do here, but still some. Okay, that was pretty much all of it actually, but still a cheaper design by like 100 entities or so. And then I'm assuming we'd supplement it probably there. We'll send it through, around. Yeah, the cost definitely will be a little bit higher. And then this one needs to be it either needs to be a red belt or a double yellow. I don't really love either of those choices. I think red belt is a little bit cheaper in terms of we have we have enough of it, I guess. It's cheaper in entity cost by a lot. And I think we have plenty that we can afford it. Yeah, we can afford to waste 15 or whatever it is. But if not, that's an easy change to that's an easy change to revert. The only belt that's strictly necessary is this stuff. Prio right, we'll do another prio right. This doesn't need a prio. It doesn't need a prio to input either. I've been trying to not prio input as much because it doesn't really cause any problems. Sometimes it makes me wonder, like when I see a design later, if I need to keep it that way. I like that a little bit more. Okay, let's fix the logic. Okay, that's good. These connect through there. These did not have any logic. These ones did. I don't think I've connected it vertically either. Okay, and then this one looks like we already fixed it. Awesome. Cool. That wasn't too bad actually. I'm just kind of assuming it's correct. Maybe it was bad. Is there is there any way I can save one of these sides? How many if I have 5 halflings of yellow, that's one full yellow plus 1.5 yellow. Yeah, okay. So I can't combine them into one belt without like a blue belt. And even then it doesn't really work. Okay. Uh I had a dream. I don't know. It was a very misguided dream, but I had a dream. Okay, we're probably gonna have to do some weird splitting for this, but I don't think that'll be that difficult. I'll just add some crisscrossy belts. For now, I'm gonna be lazy and just do this, so that way we can test the design and make sure we have everything connected properly. So that would be infinity filter. Did I build that right? I think I did. Oh, that's supposed to be iron, not fuel. I'm so used to putting fuel in the infinity filters because I pretty much always need fuel. Okay, so that will let us do a stress test to see if we've actually made our design more safe. Although the iron thing that we just did, that had nothing to do with design safety. That had to do with we were lacking iron. But until we get like a functional iron, until we had functional iron, I wasn't able to tell for sure if our design was actually safe. So it should be good now. These are missing prios. I feel like I should always have prio on the stub. Okay. And then, where's these? Okay. More stubs to prio. More stubs to prio. Awesome. And then these don't need prio because these don't really have any splitters. These ones do though. Okay. Oh, and the ones on the outside have like a reverse order. Oh wait, these ones do too. Oh, did I do the wrong order on the bottom one, or does this alternate? This one might alternate. Okay, which one's the stub here? Oh, I guess I got confused because neither of these are actually. Technically, the one on the right is the stub. It just doesn't continue, so this is the correct prio. Cool. And then, let's see, there should be more up here. It looks like we actually got the top half of the build. We just didn't end up doing the bottom half. I don't know why we stopped halfway down, but we did. But it's good now. This looks so much taller, though. I mean, I know we only added 2 tiles over... Actually, we only added a single tile compared to the old design. It just feels so much taller. Okay. We were in the process of fixing all of these, right? Yeah. So, unfortunately, there is still weird substation logic. Or still weird, like, no pattern issues we need to solve. So I think this still is going to be a pretty manual fix. Because we don't quite have a pattern yet we can copy. Which is very unfortunate. Okay, those are good. And that one's good. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we have a pattern. We don't need that one there. We need this one here, and then the next one would be here. How did I miss that one? Weird. Okay, power. I guess it's not power, but, you know, same thing. It's basically a power cable. It doesn't transfer power, so maybe I shouldn't call it that. But, you know, basically a power cable. I don't know why I just thought of this, but I've been playing the Create mod in not Factorio, in Minecraft. It's really cool. It is incredibly slow, and it makes very large builds for very simple things compared to like any other factory mod. But the fact that it's much more in depth, like you actually have like gear ratios and stuff, is really fun. Like you make an assembling belt and you can like you can like watch things get like hit by a mechanical press and like squash it into a plate. It's really cool. Highly recommend it. Just add electric signal. Oh, that's true. I mean, it is a wire, and all wires are just transferring power anyway. So like, you could probably argue that they're all power cables, in that sense. There you go. I don't know why I was doing that so much by hand. Okay, does this one actually have logic on it? Yeah, it does. Wait, why is this substation here? Where does that substation power? Well, it makes sense. Was it just powering the... Is it just powering the Roboport? Okay, it just powered the Roboport. That's fine then. We're changing the Roboports anyway. Or we're not changing the Roboports, but we're removing any substation input from the Roboports for player buildings, for player building stuff. So that means we can save that substation. Oh, that was a pretty recent. That's a pretty recent change. But I just realized I probably shouldn't have any substations on my player when I have to manually build Roboports, or when it's best for me to manually build Roboports. You also wanted a power connection on the bottom. Oh, like just a way to bridge the gap. So that way it can start a little bit better. Okay, we can leave it then. As long as it doesn't make it go over one gap. Let's leave both of them. That way it's a nice square. Why is this one there? Did I place that there? Don't know if I placed that. Okay, so now we have a nice little rectangle of power. This doesn't do anything, does it? That was also a substation power pole. Okay. Or that was also a Roboport power pole, I imagine. Okay, so yeah, we don't need that one. I think these other ones are big electric poles. Okay. we can work with this now. We should probably check to make sure everything's actually good. But I think we got all of them. I think we reconnected all the logic. We'll just... I guess we'll just have to look at average production, maybe. For now, we're just going to do a test with full speed, just so I can get it up and running faster. I don't know if we need that. We're going to move it. We definitely don't need this one. We might have broken some... Yeah, we broke some undergrounds. That makes sense. We did make the lane longer. Hopefully those are the underground. Hopefully those ones on the edge are the only ones we broke. Actually, I think that might have been legitimately the only one we broke. Yeah, no, that might have been the only one we broke. That's actually pretty nice. Okay, so these are supposed to stay off. That's good because they are attached to logic. Actually, why is this one attached to logic? I don't think that's supposed to be attached to logic. I guess technically it's fighting for fuel with that one. But so is this guy. So we can probably remove that one. Wait, these are all on logic. Are they supposed to be on logic, or was I just copying and pasting? That might have been something I did. No, they just had wires. Wait. Did I have any design with that? Let's see. They did... Oh, I connected them upward. Okay. So if I had that, if I added that, then it's definitely supposed to stay. Don't know why they're all the same color. Maybe it didn't matter that much. Maybe it was just one of those things where it was sometimes a problem. It makes it a little bit safer. It is weird that they're all the same color of wire, though. Yeah, I don't remember if that was a redesign or if that was in your the old one. Because I added a lot of I added a lot more inserters to the circuit network because it was in a lot of my test scenarios they were dying, or a lot of my low fuel test scenarios they were dying. Right now we're just testing to see if everything's in fact connected because we definitely broke some belts. Those are some undergrounds we can save. That's nice. Okay, I like that. This seems to be working well though. The iron supplement seems to be all right. I think everything's up and running. Nothing's dead. If we look at our production, let's see, 6.3, 6.4, that's about what it should be good. Let's see, if everything on the right using the red wire is fine. Using green for inserters on the left is not fine. Oh, just because of like prio. So like if everything uses red wire, it works out, but if I put something too far to the left on green, it does break. Is that a decent summary? Okay, cool. Yeah, there was a time where I accidentally swapped them. Yeah, think of them as left and right is definitely a good way to do it. I was thinking them as copper and iron when I was originally connecting them because that's how my old design was set up, but that's not how this one works. Realistically, the green wire could be removed. Oh, if you just had everything connected to the red. I imagine that wouldn't help that much with performance, right? Like maybe a little bit. It definitely couldn't be removed, but replaced with red is definitely an option. I imagine that would probably have a small impact on performance, but it would also increase the start delay by a little bit. So who knows if it would balance out. Okay, so now for the fun test scenario. We will drop this to 30% fuel, because that is when things tend to start to break. If fuel just runs a little bit at the bare minimum. So the 30 to 50% fuel range, things tend to be pretty unhappy, which is what all of the changes we are working on just now are trying to fix. Like shifting this, like this one, oh gosh, where was it? This one. Shifting this so that way the fuel's on a better side. I think that is just enough to make it more reliable. But we'll see. Actually, we didn't test with this one. We tested with 15. Let's keep it at 15. We don't have enough fuel to do the entire lane this way, but we can test a small section right here, which usually is good enough. As long as I can test part of the lane, it's fine. The main thing is it's less than 1 yellow belt. Oh wait, we can speed it up more. I didn't realize we were in time 16. Okay, so we're not expecting things to fully work. Well, we are expecting things to fully work. The ones that get fuel. We're not expecting the whole lane to start. We're expecting this much of the lane to run. Maybe a little bit less. Within a reasonable time frame. I think if I left it running for like half an hour, it might eventually start. But it doesn't really have a ton of excess production right now, so it's just kind of not working too great. Okay, these aren't dead. That's a good sign. These have not got fuel yet, but these were the ones that were really prone to brownouts. So I think the side swap actually was pretty significant. I'm assuming it makes it that every failed attempt, this one gives up a little bit faster because this one grabs it faster. That's probably what the difference is. And it's just enough of a difference to make it that this has enough fuel. Which is wild that matters with burner inserters, but hey, they are what they are. Okay, now we've done the low fuel enough. I think it seemed pretty good. Now we can restart this at full speed to make sure everything is in fact connected. Based on the amount of inserters I see running in our production, though, I think we reconnected everything. Factorio is perfectly programmed. I mean, it's not a problem when it comes to anything other than burner inserters. To this degree, at least. Like, I know in Mega Bases it matters, but... I would say outside of weird edge cases, Factorio is pretty consistent. And they are consistently bad there. That counts for something. Thanks, Nightbot. Classic. What do they even use as a B? Oh, are they trying to get around people banning the word best? I see what they're doing. I still don't understand why bots post actual links though. I feel like that's one of the easiest things to moderate, and they still do them. That's true. They are part of vanilla. I feel like they're the I can't think of a better word. They're the black sheep of Factorio. They're the black sheep of Factorio. Nobody acknowledges them, except for some, except for me. I might be the only person. Okay. I think this new design works well. Now, this is something I was wondering. Should I downgrade them to gray assemblers? For specifically the things that only have a single furnace going into them, I save it's not a huge amount of resources. I should at least remove the efficiency modules on them. The ones that run at half speed, I'm not that concerned with efficiency moduling. So saving 150 efficiency modules is pretty big. I don't necessarily need to need to save 150 assemblers. But this does have enough assembling speed. This does have enough assembling speed for the one furnace. The one furnace side. Not the two furnace side like this one, but this one's good. But yeah, it is technically cheaper, so you'd think it would be easy to set up. Okay, I think that's good. Now we have to copy this a lot. You think getting 3 types of assemblers into the building train is too annoying? Yeah, that's fair. What's the cost savings? $150 steel every 10 minutes. 300 gears every 10 minutes. And I'm producing a red belt of gears, which is 30. So 300 divided by 18,000. Is that right? So it's 2% less gears. Yeah. That is probably an annoyance that isn't worth it. Oops. Ooh, I undid something. What did I undo? It would have been over here. It wouldn't have been in the actual base. Okay. Oh, I undid this. Wait. That was wrong. Unfortunate. Undoing doesn't add modules back, does it? Okay. I did the wrong direction for that upgrade planner. Yeah, I think efficiency modules in the wire are worth it. Or at least the fully running wire. I think saving them in the non-fully running wire, not so big of a deal. Okay, let's do it the correct way this time. There we go. Okay, so let's look at the cost of the lane, which would be roughly here. Okay, so we added about 30 undergrounds. We might have saved. I don't know if we saved any of the other undergrounds. Let's see, where's our old design? So basically what I need to compare is everything that isn't the same between the two, which would be roughly this segment. Okay. So 1800 and 7600. So that between the two of them, that's 2550 or so, and 150 splitters, 7290. Okay. This section, 98. So that's about the same. We use 30 more fast undergrounds. This is 2900. So we save 700 undergrounds and use about 500 more transport belts. That's pretty good, actually. That makes it a lot easier to pack into the train, because we were struggling with train space a little bit. So like, not only is it just 200 to 300 entities better, they're cheaper entities. Uses fewer splitters, and about 750 fewer undergrounds. That's all right. Honestly, that's more savings than downgrading would be. Yes, this should be the final iteration of the outpost. So we have 2 options. I think they're both very good. This one, I believe, is a little bit easier to fit next to patches because it's roughly the same width as the patch, whereas this one goes a little bit past the patch. So I think this will block more outposts from being usable. But the big deciding factor, and I could use both. I could realistically use both, so that will make it that I need to change train logic halfway through the run. Not the worst thing in the world. That would take a few minutes. But basically, this outpost can be designed to run for 6 hours. This can only run for 4, and there's no way to adapt it to 6. This one can be adapted to 6. So what we can do is we can either make this outpost the first, 5 we do. For the first hour, we use this outpost, and we have it set for 6 hours, and then we switch to this one. Or or we aim for a lower time goal and see if we can actually afford to do an outpost every 8 minutes. Because then they don't need to run for 5 hours. But I don't think we really have enough data to make that decision. Let's see, is this the correct one? Yeah, this is the correct one. Okay, so now I need to do a performance test. Just to make sure the extra circuit logic we didn't accidentally like screw us over. I should probably also, if I'm doing a performance test, I should actually have these hooked up how they would be hooked up, because it does matter. Okay. Okay, so we have a lot of half lanes. This one, very obvious. That should just go straight there. One lane solved. Good. Now this one is a half lane that is split between these two. There we go. That one's good. We don't no longer need this. So this one's good, this one's good. Now this one is split between these two. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Actually, wait, what was that in response to? Oh, was it just me saying we should just lower our time goal by 8 hours, 8 minutes? Because yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Everyone knows it's really easy to just lower your goal by 20%. Yes, nothing could possibly go wrong. I like the confidence. It's very accurate. Okay, there we go. Now this is the annoying part. How do we do this? I think the best option is to combine them into a splitter over here, right? Yeah. Yeah, that should work. And then we send one of these over there. We could actually just sideload it if we do an output prio. That would work fine. Honestly, we could sideload it and send it straight through if it weren't for the fact that this was on logic. Although technically, strictly speaking, this isn't necessary. I believe this just helps these start a little bit more cleanly, which I do like, but if we wanted to, we could remove it and make this connection a little bit better. But I think that's the distribution we need. Oh, we broke one. Okay, we'll leave it running for a bit. It should be fine. This does use more belts than it will in the actual base, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about the belt savings here right now. Like, obviously, we'll reorder this and make these undergrounds, but that isn't... I don't think undergrounds versus regular belts matter that much for performance tests. Because really, as long as we're within a couple percent of our other design, it's worth it. It's just, this does have twice the logic, so I am worried it might be a little bit more of a gap than I expected. So I believe this was me stress testing it like no tomorrow. Where I dropped down to like 45, 50 UPS, right? Wait, no, this is an older one. This isn't the one we did yesterday. Yeah, this isn't the one we did yesterday. Or sorry, Saturday? Whenever we last did burner stuff. This is the wrong save. That's what it is. I know. I know why I can't find the tests. So this has too many mods in it for it to be a good example of performance. So that means we need a different version of Factorio, my testing save. Which the only difference really is it doesn't have... Well, it doesn't have any mods. Most importantly, it doesn't have stage blueprint planning, which, even if you're not using, I think tends to have a little bit of an impact to make it that I don't trust my UPS tests without it. or with it. Okay. So good blueprint. We have to, I think we just have to export this. There we go. Oh, I even put a date. Look at that. Look at me being smart and dating the file. But yeah, this is this is why I had to do the redesign, the redesign of the redesign, because this was pretty consistently happening. Okay. Tice redesign UPS at 188. Okay. We didn't actually save any of the ones that we ran to sub 40, to sub 40. So we'll probably have to redo some. But that part's easy to do. We're just making a new save anyway. Import string. Believe this is the correct redesign. Yes, it is. Tice redesign version 3. I should probably change the date. September 3rd. I don't think I need to put a year. Because if I'm still working on this next September, we have a problem. It's too, I'm too far gone if that's the case. Okay, so we have to copy this. I believe we did 30, and then we did 50, which we're not getting 50 outposts because this is very obviously ignoring miners. Like, it's pretty easy to tell this doesn't have the miners. However, we have the same amount of chests, we have the same amount of infinity pipes in both the designs. So it's good for comparing just the outpost and just the outpost startup time. Which, realistically, the startup time should be about 15 minutes with this one. Which is why we can afford a percent or two, a couple percent less performance. Because they'll kind of offset each other. Redesign 2, final, last, 1 complete version 3, 1 final, 2 final. That is, that's how that's how I used to label essays in college. I've, gotten lazy with my naming scheme. And now I just do a different save. Because, like, for here, I just do a different save and then use final in a different spot. But I don't keep appending the same one. Which is arguably way worse option. Significantly worse option, and I should not do it that way. But, you know, what can you do? Okay. I believe this has started fully. 6.2, 6.3, yep, that's how much we should be getting from this. We've removed efficiency modules. My voice got really hoarse all of a sudden. I think I coughed in a weird spot. Okay. I could do better. Better in which way? Naming them worse or naming them better? Actually better. Okay, so 30 would be 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. Now we go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't know why I didn't start at 1. Okay. Our performance should be real bad right now. It shouldn't be this bad. Oh. I just realized. You definitely have not been looking at anything. There you go. Much better performance. Well. Oh, that's pretty bad. Did I mess up? I did just add a 3 after it, didn't I? Yeah, if we say, like, if you don't say final enough, how am I going to know it's the final version? Right? Like every time you add it, it's confirming that is in fact the final version. Okay, why is my performance so bad? Do I have something running? Hmm. I mean, I guess the main thing is we just need to compare it to the same. We just need to compare it to something else with the same weird performance. But let's see. Maybe I pasted too many. 188 at 84. Is map mode better? No. Also, we can't really use editor mode in the run, so this is what we would be doing. It looks like a fairly stable is not the right word. Every time they grab fuel, it drops. So it looks like it's averaging about 85 at 188k per minute. September 3rd, Tie 3 Design 3. I guess loading this one would be a great, like I wrote the value here. This would be a great way to tell if something's just different. Oh, geez. No, that is higher. Huh. Was this all for nothing? That is a pretty significant loss. And that's just between the two versions of the slower outpost. I feel like something's... Why would it be that much different? Like, this is more like an 88, 90 on average. The other one's 84. Production... I guess production here is a little bit lower. Next time a new one is put out, we will all know that this time is really is final. Yeah, exactly. I'll put... I need to put at least like 5, 10 finals, right? No, maybe 5. How many Final Destinations are there? Final Destination movie. Because, like, you know, each one you think is going to be the last. It has final in the title. And they're up to 6 now, I think. They're about to make a 6th. So that one clearly has to be the last. 8? I could see them being 8. I've only ever watched the first one. Actually, I watched the first 2. Then I stopped caring about them. Hmm. Well, we can still compare to our old design. Which, I don't know, what would our old what would our old design be named? Old, final, final, final? Oh, jeez. It does not like deconstructing that many entities at once. Die Hard Final, Final 4. You know, I I haven't watched the final Starheads in a while, but I would 100% believe that's how they're named. Because their naming scheme, it doesn't make sense. They just tried different fun ways to add the word Die Hard into their title. They're kind of like, I feel like they're very similar naming scheme to Bond films, which also are hard to follow if you try to watch them in order. Have you watched all 4 seasons of Fringe? I have not. What's the reference there? Is it similar to Final Destination? I'm gonna guess no. That would be weird. Because it sounds like a sitcom to me. Harry Potter and the Final Battle of Phoenix. You know those? Okay, they also have some interesting titles. I get those mixed up a lot. Despite the fact that I used to watch the movies a lot, I would never remember the names. Also, they have a different name between England and US for one of them. Like the Philosopher's Stone versus the Sorcerer's Stone. I don't know why they changed it. I know it has to do with like I also don't know which one is which. I think philosophers is the British one. And I think the idea is they changed it because people don't know what a philosopher's stone is here, but like sorcerer's stone's also kind of made up, so I don't know. Trying to judge my ability to judge good TV shows or movies based on if I've actually watched good ones or movies. That's fair. I I would not describe my taste in movies as good. I think we can just assume it's not. Oh, I messed up. We have to delete all of these. We didn't start them first. Yeah, I've never once claimed to be a good judge of movies. I describe my favorite movie as cool people doing cool things. And one of my favorite movies is Sharknado. So take that as you will. But I pretty confidently say I'm not picky and I just like most things. We almost made the exact same mistake again. The Philosopher's Stone is the only correct name. It makes sense. Like, it's an actual reference to something. Where a Sorcerer's Stone is like, hey, they don't know what a Philosopher's Stone is. Let's just call it a Sorcerer's Stone because it's accurate. Which, admittedly, it is also accurate. But it definitely was a weird call. Honestly, renaming things geographically in general always confuses me. Because it could just be depending on where I am, but anytime they rename something to make it like make more sense in that area, it never really makes more sense. Or sometimes it's just a licensing issue, like a Bake Off. It's called Baking Show here. My friends don't like when I call it Baking Show, but that is the official title here. Which I think I've talked about that before. I love the show though, despite the fact that I call it Baking Show and it feels wrong. Even though I know it's not wrong per se. Okay. So I think I can conclusively say I don't think the performance is that much different between any of these. Oh yeah, I know what a philosopher's stone is. It's great. I love alchemy history. I did like a couple reports in school on them. But yeah, sorcerer's stone is nothing. It just sounds like a magical stone that a sorcerer would use. Okay, so yeah, this is like 80s. I don't know why my performance is so bad today. Do I have like a program running that that I forgot about? Because I'm pretty sure I did these tests while streaming. Oh, wait, no. I did tests while streaming. I didn't do these tests while streaming, so maybe it's actually alright. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I guess I didn't strictly do this. These numbers are from offline, so if I go offline, I'll probably get 96 or so. September 3rd, old design, 85-ish. Type 3 design, B3. Okay, as long as this is also 85-ish, I think we're good. It feels lower. Is there a way to get average? Is average UPS something you could measure over like a multi-minute period in this game? Because it fluctuates too much to actually make sense of it as a person. Like I can kind of guess where the average feels, but I can't actually estimate it. I would like an actual number, but I doubt it tracks that. Yes, there is a way. Ooh. Does it involve running a timer and just calculating it yourself? Probably not. That would be silly. I know there's a way to like externally run the, or oh wait, there is like There is a test you can do using like a console command. Is that what you're thinking? Factorio.exe has a benchmark tool. Can it benchmark the entire map? Because that's something that actually matters. With the cache on my computer. If I stress test a small build versus a large build, it's going to favor the small build very significantly. Which is why all the early benchmarks on like the 7800 X3D made it seem way better than it is. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing. It was still like a 50% improvement. But all the stress tests that people did using like basic benchmark stuff we're saying like 100, 150 because they were testing like small bases. But as long as I can test a large section like this, then it would work. But they seem similar enough. We're probably good. Realistically, we're only going to be running at low UPS for the last couple hours. So max, this looks like it might be 2 out of 80. Which is what, less than 2%, like 1.5% loss? It's about 2%. 0.025 times 120. It's only, over the course of 2 hours, that's only a couple minutes lost to performance. And it's ignoring the fact that these start faster. So yeah, that should balance out. Okay, I think we can live with the redesign. Realistically, if you can't tell the UPS difference, there likely isn't one. That's fair. They're hovering around different values though. Maybe I should have. Oh wait, we could just do a larger build. That would also work. But yeah, they're probably, if there is one, it's definitely not. If there is one, it's definitely not large. Okay, this should drop me below. Okay, this should drop me below 60. Yeah. Okay, see, now this is like a much more stable because we just go. It changes way slower. If only we could get up to 26. Actually, wait, what even is that? 28 times 60? So even without miners, or any of our base running, our max green chip production is still like 30% lower than a full burner base or a full electricity base. So yeah, with absolutely zero overhead for bases and getting the resources, burners still can't keep up. Oh, I love it. Because I could get 60 at like 20 million green chips using electricity. Yeah, that's not happening here. I love it. Forest lump of coal, gone with the coal, breakfast burner, 50 Shades of Burner Leech, the Lord of the Coals, the Slow and the Burnt. I like Lord of the Coals and Forest Lump. That's a good one. The other ones I haven't seen the movies enough to really be attached to the name. What's Slow and the Burnt? Is that a... That sounds like it would be a Clint Eastwood film. But probably not. Because, like, I don't know. Anytime it says, oh, Fast and the Furious. Oh. Okay, I wouldn't get that one, but I just looking at it generally, but I like that a lot. Burners. Aren't they fantastic? Okay, so we have new values. We need to adjust our buffers a little bit for the new outpost, but I think we'll be okay. AI isn't good with fun names. Yeah, I feel like they lack. a lot in the creativity department, which I think is good. I'd argue that's a good thing. But they can give you starting points for other names, for brainstorming your own names. Okay, so it's definitely very, very samey. This one goes to higher numbers, but that doesn't tell us much. Yeah, it doesn't tell us the average. Yeah, let's say they're at least within a percent or two. Cool. Mostly I was just curious. I don't know if that would actually have affected... Unless it was like 10% off, I don't know if it would have affected my answer much. Okay, so Factorio. I forgot to open the other one before I closed it, so now you get to see my wallpaper. I'm not actually working on a no video background. That's been a lie for 2 years. I've brainstormed them, but then I realized I don't really... There's not really a reason for it. Like, it only shows for, like, you know, a few seconds every now and again if my game crashes. The Lion King, the Coal King. That sounds like it would just be... Who's the railroad guy? I guess that would be a very much American history thing. I cannot think of his name. I don't know. There's Van Hout. No, Vanderbilt. No, that's a college. No, that's right. Yeah, it's the railroad guy. One of them. I can't think of the others. Yeah, I like that one. Or it would be better if it called it the Lion Coal, or just like changed a random word with it. See, there used to be a mod where you could copy a part of your base, then you only needed to run part, and it would duplicate the IO for every copy. Oh, that... Well, to make it that you didn't just have to copy it 20 times to test something. Yeah, that sounds nice. Okay. Final of the final outposts. Final V3. Final. There we go. There we go. Let's export this somewhere. We also need a screenshot actually. I don't understand how this has 1900. Oh, because I have this. That's actually not what I want a screenshot of then. So we need to go change the values of our base for this section right here. And we'll probably round up to like 2000 inserter or 2000 belt, 800 inserters. I'm still debating on if it's worth it to use red belt here. I don't think 30 red belt is a lot, but I don't know for sure. I really don't know for sure. Where's our... Let's go to our actual base. At least these have numbers for the most part. Occasionally I add the word tests very much in all caps, but you know, for the most part, these are numbered. They go up at random intervals, so they're not like sometimes a version will last weeks, sometimes it lasts like a single edit. Usually I do a version when I'm doing a larger change. Because like I don't care that much if I have a backup of me deleting a single inserter. I do want to back up if I'm removing like an entire steel lane or switching trains. Mostly train stuff, actually. A lot of train stuff gets different versions because this mod doesn't play well with trains. Okay, so we have new values. Found the use of AI prompt roast anti-patients in less than 500 characters. Is it going to insult my movie taste? Because I think we've already established that it's not great. Wait, what did you feed it as information? That seems way too accurate. Did you tell it my internet sucks and I make spaghetti factories? Because that hits too close to home. I think this. Actually, I need to be basing it off of the whole outpost, don't I? Did it all by itself? Hmm. Sure. Is this the one that was trained to know I also like socks? Because I'm pretty sure there was a moment in time where there was an AI being used, or some kind of GPT was being used for a lot of Factorio runners, and it learned my reputation about socks, which I thought was really fun. It also thought I was a girl, but that's not important. It's skewed by patience in my name. Yeah, but it knows. It knows. My ear hurts for some reason. Okay. I just realized this isn't. This is the final, but it's also not the final. So if we're changing our values, we need the final. Sorry, I don't know how many times I can say final without laughing. I pressed the wrong button. It didn't like that. There we go. It did not. It was not happy with me loading this. I didn't actually mean to load this. I was just looking through the saves, trying to decide where I want to put my final outpost. And I think the answer... Oh, wait. I need this. I don't think this is my public... Not public, but coordinated one. Burner, staged... There we go. Burner 100 output, 380k per minute. Final underscore final redesign. That's probably what the new name will be. That way I'll know. That way if I type redesign or final twice, I'll find it. Final redesign. Okay, production should still be the same. So this would be... We need the fueling from this. Wait, this isn't the right one. I guess I can just open Discord and find out, huh? That would probably be easier. Really no reason for me not to. Because it is... the blueprint's literally right there. Final of the final. There we go. There's no water. Good. But yeah, let's make the actual connections. Anti-patient. Sock drawer. Factorio. No, meme runs. Should be this. Okay. Copy. Huh. I like how when I shared the blueprint, I like how you kept all these in the exact same spots. I don't know, made that easier. Okay. So yeah, it is a lot less wide. And it's not that much taller. Okay. So there's some inserters. There's some refineries still connected or with efficiency modules. Is there any reason for that? Because I'm not entirely sure about how the prio works, but I imagine this part makes sense because these are prioed by the belts. But why is this one? Why are these moduled and not these? Does it basically just come down to like 33 refineries are running, but there's 28 total? There's only 28 on the left. I don't know if Tice is still here, but this was Tice's redesign of my outpost to make it a little bit, make the refineries run a little bit better. Because it was a little bit lacking. We still need to connect 2 pipes, I believe. There are no recent. Okay. Then we'll just remove them. I wasn't sure if it was like a weird prio thing and like this pipe was prioed over the other pipe and it just worked out. Refinery modules are random. Okay. So yeah, we'll just leave them on this side then, because these are the ones that we can pretty safely assume will run all the time. And then these, with fluid distribution, I imagine it will be difficult to control those. In terms of which ones need efficiency, so I might just cut them entirely. So that brings our efficiency module count down pretty significantly. We're under 2.8. We're under 270 now. Okay, so now we have to make some connections. We can delete all of these because this is no longer necessary. We can put our new outpost here. We no longer need this coal lane because that was just for testing or solid fuel. I like how I can pretty consistently call them coal constantly. Like, no matter what, I just always call it a coal lane. Despite it very rarely being a coal lane. Okay. We need one gap. I think we can make this a lot closer now. Yeah, we can definitely make this closer. That was just for easy connections early on. Feel like I broke things and I don't know how. Oh, it's because those branch to the left. Okay. That should be... Honestly, it's not that hard to redo these connections. I'm just gonna cut them anytime after the splitter. And then we'll try to shift things down a little bit so this can go here. I think we'll have to do some weird curves like that. Or maybe we do a side load? Because we did establish that side loads are actually perfectly fine here. As long as we prio it. Okay, so that one's good. This one, let's see, this is split between two. This one over there, this one over. Oh, that's, okay, that's why it looked so weird. So this one should actually split here. And go to the left instead. And then again, we have to do a prio. If we could change which side of the belt, we can either do a prio or we can do a perfect split like this. Both of those, I think, are valid options. Don't think it matters too much. Although it might be better to force it to do it. Well, no, I don't. As long as you have the prio, I think they're practically the same. Yeah, let's not worry about it. And then this one, honestly, if we can go under, I think that's actually a much better option in terms of base size. And then this one can split here. Once again, side load. Maybe the side loads are a bad idea. I don't know. Probably if they are a bad idea, it's not that much worse. So I'm not going to worry about it. And then this one can just be a whole lot of undergrounds. Okay, and it doesn't matter where this one becomes one long. But it kind of does because I think it looks ugly that way. After we're this far into the burner run and we're just making some arbitrary decision that I don't like how that looks. It had to happen at some point, right? We can make some things a little bit prettier. It's okay. Okay, and then this one combines here. So honestly, this is the easiest way to do it. It does use an extra 6 red belts, but I think it saves a lot of yellow. It saves a small amount of yellow. Maybe it doesn't matter. I could pretty confidently say it doesn't matter, actually. It does make it shorter, though. I do like how it makes it shorter. I wonder if I can send this through. No, that wouldn't work, because that one's not split. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a good way to remove these undergrounds. That's okay. We can live with it. I'm just trying to like compress this. I know we need to leave one 4-inch gap. Not a 4-inch gap. We need to leave a 4-tile gap for later. And then if we do, this uses more entities, but it does save some red belts. Or we could just do it here and not care. I think we do it here and just use the extra. I think we use the extra red belt. It's 6 red belt. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Roast red wraith in less than 50 characters. And it's blank. There's nothing to roast you about. Sorry, it's already been said. Or there's nothing to say. That has to be what that means, right? Oh, there's the update. Okay, this lines up very well. This leaves a gap for the train. It doesn't leave an easy gap for us to get copper through. So I think we need another underground set here. Yeah, because we need to be able to get copper through this. So that's fine. It's a very easy thing to set up. Yeah, we'll need we're making the outpost 6 tiles higher than it needs to be because it makes copper connecting. It means we only need 1 outpost instead of 4 or 3. Original one was better, but it was 512 characters and it got cut by Twitch 500 limit. I feel like if you just went through and removed like the letter A from a few words like gameplay, but stuff like that, I feel like that could have worked. Although I don't know if that would have been worth the effort. The only person who could turn a simple factory into a never-ending quest for more spaghetti. Watching your mods and actions is like observing a toddler with a Lego set, chaotic and somehow mostly in one piece. Okay, that's accurate. No, that's very accurate. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with this design. This can be shifted up. This does not line up well, actually. We also haven't sent coal to the outpost, but I don't think that's a problem. So this needs to be shifted up. Actually, it doesn't necessarily need to be shifted up, does it? But it's better to shift it up. Yeah, it's definitely better to shift it up. It is now September and we're still designing. Yeah. Lots of stuff has happened. So it's going to be delayed at least until October due to some personal stuff. So unfortunately, we don't have a set time goal anymore. Hopefully it should be October. But we'll see. I'll know more in a couple weeks. But yeah, I don't have any time goal anymore at the moment. But we're still working on the design at least. We're planning to hopefully get it done sometime soon. we just can't make any promises of a time goal anymore. I broke this. How did I break this? It would be the time goal, but like I said, I don't have any control over stuff right now, so not anything I can do about it, unfortunately. And we won't really know more until at least mid-September, probably early October. Or probably late September. I feel like these are flipped wrong. That's why the connection was weird. Because I was trying to connect the wrong side. That's alright. Yeah, that connection's alright. It's not the best, but it does the job. Okay. So this connects here. Can I do a 1-3-1? It feels weird, but honestly that would make things a little bit easier. Nah, it's not worth it. Clearly it doesn't know that you did Lazy Bastard in 15 hours back in 0.16. Nice. Oh, the slow method. That was in response to the slow methodical part. Anyone looks slow and methodical compared to the kinds of bases I do. I don't think you can make a spaghetti factory look slow and methodical. Okay, so that would go there. This goes down one, and then it curves up. Okay. Wait, why don't I just go straight through? Why don't I just go straight through? It doesn't matter what side it connects. Silly me. Overcomplicating things once again. Okay, we could probably make the connections closer, actually. There we go. Okay, so now these would connect here. Okay, that's good. Feel like this is worst, maybe not worst case scenario. Let's make these undergrounds, because these would be undergrounds here, actually. Because I'm basically, what I have as this small connection is going to be my starting point for any of the outposts we make when I start filling the trains. So I need to have these built how they would be, or roughly how they would be. Each turn would use up to 1 red belt, right? I think it would just add 1 to each. So there would never be more than 3 churns. So that means if we add 20 red belts and like 10 red belt, we should be good. Back when you can only craft refineries and yellow simplers and you had to craft a pickaxe, Lazy Bastard is the easy one now. It really is. It really is a lot easier now. Which is not a problem at all. Definitely a better problem to have. Because the whole refinery change, like that one was big. Okay, fuel connects here. Realistically, I should connect fuel just straight. And then split it. So we move this up. This goes here. This just continues straight through. And then this one goes to the left. Is an option. What we could also do is if I continued this through, this could be the one. I could continue these through to the outpost, but I feel like the outpost should be a separate lane. I feel like that will help with start time. Well, it won't help with start time. It will help with making it that my outpost can start separately than the drills, which is good for burner consistency. It's not good for start time. It's actually really bad for start time, but that's okay. Okay, and then, so that's good. That can be split between 2 lanes, then it gets sent to the left, and then this stuff gets sent to the outpost. This will have a train in it. Or this one will have a train in it. I don't actually know which one will have the train. Probably in the top. Yeah, I think the train would be... Oh, wait, if we do it there, we can't do 2 roboports, can we? No, I could still do 2 roboports. I just can't unload from both sides into a roboport, which technically means It's an easy change. It's an easy change to make if I change my mind. No, it should be here. It should be here. It gives so much more flexibility here, and it doesn't really make a difference anywhere else. Okay, so we need to send fuel to the outpost. It needs to connect here, where these line up, which would be this way. And then we send it back up, and then this should go here. Okay. And then this one, entity saving, might as well do that one. Although that one's not that big of a deal. You were a lazy bitch back then. that's what it should have been called. Honestly, it feels, I feel like that word is less taboo than bastard, which feels weird, but it definitely, I don't know, it feels like more of a curse word. At least around here. It's probably very much regional, but because it's not like it's a curse word, but it's not something you really say. Where should this go? Honestly, this should connect on the outside, but that's okay. Lazy Bastards was one of the most fun achievements you've ever done. It's really cool. It also it forces you to do them all, which I think is very helpful for new players. Okay, how long is my train? We're doing an 11 long train now. So that would be here? No, it needs to be lined up with the undergrounds. That would be here. And here? Right? Okay, it lines up, it overlaps a little bit, so that would be here. I am certainly not a bitch, but I am technically a bastard. Not a sense I expected to see. But yeah, it's super common. It's just people don't really use the word much anymore. I'm assuming it's because it's considered derogatory, though I don't know if that's regional or not. I like how I'm making that argument like bitch isn't derogatory, but that one's much more, it's just used more often among friends. It feels weird. It feels like the Australian. Yeah, I actually can't say that one's really bad here. Anyway, we need to make this connection. This looks ugly, but that's fine. That's not how the actual connection will be. I just wanted to get an estimate of inserter count. Honestly, this is a fairly realistic connection distance. It feels very fake, but there are a lot of patches where I'm not that much farther. Like right here, this versus the other one, really not that far off. So that's why I've just been adding like a couple hundred to my estimate. But this line, this is like the same width as the outpost up top. I really like that. Okay, we can move this, we can move these. We need to add roboports to this as well. How do I get this fuel to this? I think I shift this over one tile. That did nothing. That literally did nothing. I didn't need to do that. Then we can split it into 2 yellow belts. Then we send it over and we send it down. Okay, yeah, I think that's the strat. Now this does prio towards the mall, which I think if we were, ooh, wait, that can't go there, can it? That can't go there. I mean, it probably could. Let's see. Let's see. This is where we can go. And here. So those need chest spots. So anything outside of that is clear, and wherever we happen to put the train, which is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one right here will have a roboport on it. Oh, that is unfortunate. Because I want roboports on both sides if I can. It looks like we might just have the roboports here. Ooh, that no, we can't. We can't pass under that if it's like that. No, we need to do the roboport on both sides. it's it's off by one tile. I think I can fix this, right? Well, I say fix like it's broken. I think I can work around this. That would go there. This needs to go down to that spot. So I'd say we go left and we go around. Oh, it can. Oh wait, it can connect here. Okay, that's not too bad. That's workable. And that gives us a spot for a roboport. It gives us an underground. We unfortunately can't power this, so we do need to make some other changes as well. But I think that's as easy as turning that belt. Yeah, because we want these to be powered with big electric poles, and that gives us two spots we can cross. That's not quite enough. We need three. We need three spots for this. How do we make that work? Maybe I do just take coal from this. Is there any reason not to? Oops. Hit the cover off of my mic. I don't think there's a huge reason not to, right? Especially since we will start half the outpost. This won't start until it gets fuel anyway. Oh, wait. No, there is a reason not to. Belt throughput. We're producing a whole red belt here. If we take off of this, we no longer have a whole red belt. We have like we have a half a red belt less. Okay, yeah, we shouldn't cut that corner. I think I should go under here though. With the coal. Because I want this top section to be explicitly getting fuel through. If you want to take any, you'd prio the last one to go into the outpost. That way only any excess escapes the end. Oh, yeah, yeah. Like, if I put a splitter there, yeah, it would definitely be prioed. I could use it as a supplement. That could work well. Because then it could potentially increase this. Well, no, I'd have to use a red belt. Never mind. It wouldn't have any potential increase. So yeah, I think I just don't worry about it, right? Because I'd have to use a red belt going to the outpost to make use of that, and that's actually pretty expensive. This does need to be a red belt, unfortunately, but that's okay. We don't use a lot of red belt here. Ooh, wait. Is there a better way? I could go down and over. I can use some red belts, but I don't have access to a lot of it, so if I can avoid it, I'm trying to. Because red underground is just very much the hardest thing to do. It's one of the hardest things to expand with just in general when it comes to this build, because it is the most expensive part of this build. Like, even just using the red undergrounds sparingly, we still have like a quarter of our iron is going into red belts, I think, and we use so little of it. Actually, that might have been our old number, because that feels like a lot. But with burner inserters, you just can't, like, even with stack inserters, it's hard to get the throughput necessary to run an assembling machine. With burner inserters, oh boy. I think we get about one underbelt, a red underbelt a second, though. So we can probably use a little bit more. Honestly, wait, do I get that much underbelt per second? If I get that much per second, sorry, not per second. Yeah, per second. If I get 1 per second, we do actually have some leeway. Maybe it would be okay. But honestly, this solution didn't actually use extra entities, so maybe it's fine. Because I was going to go through here and use 2 extra undergrounds to do it, and then I was going to go down. But this one went down and it didn't actually have to go back up. So it didn't really use additional entities. It wasted like 2 belt. I think we can live with 2 belt wasted. Yeah. Okay, and that leaves this spot right here, which I think works for crossing the belt to the other side. Haven't exactly figured out how I'm going to do that. But basically, let's see, this is the redes. Honestly, we should finalize that now. I believe we can probably have an easiest time if we just clone it. Am I on clone? Yeah, I am. Okay. But basically, I want 3 versions of the outpost. One of the versions will be copper from both sides. One of them will be copper from just the left. The other one will be copper from the right. See, that sounds like a great solution, but with burner inserters, that is a very, very complex setup. So it doesn't actually work that well. It's really hard to do local production with burner inserters. I have thought about it, but because you have to set up like a whole fuel distribution lane and you have to have like 10 assemblers all with like 3 tiles in between, it doesn't it works very, very poorly. It is more complex, but it is still a solution. Well, it's a solution that doesn't really help much, I guess. Like, it doesn't really solve much of a problem. Like, it's a solution to a problem I don't think I really have. That's a better way of putting it. Like, I don't really think I have a red belt problem, so I don't think I'll have to worry about it. Yeah, I think the way that I would have to do it is I would split off of one of these lanes and send it into a smelter. Because we can't, like, dedicate part of the patch to it, but we could have a splitter going off of it and limit the assemblers to, like, 1 stack. But we definitely can't do on-patch direct smelting like I would like, unfortunately. Not like an actual base could do. I mean, I guess this is technically an actual base. It's just a very expensive one. Now, I need to move the roboports around. Which one should be Outpost Prime? Let's do this one as Outpost Prime. So this is the normal one. This one will have 2 left, or 2 right. Now, the way that we're doing these connections, I will admit, a little bit lazy, but that's fine. Yeah, we're definitely doing this connection in a relatively lazy way, as in a very lazy way. Because basically the idea here, actually, can I rotate a cloned base? No, I can't. Don't know why I would be able to. Basically, the idea is I don't want to have 2 completely distinct outposts, so I'm actually just going to connect this up here, and then it's going to go round, and then it's going to go down. Now, if we do this, we need to have this one on the bottom. That's fine. These are actually, you can paste them on each other, I believe. Well, I would be able to if I didn't change them a little bit. But yeah, these designs should be pastable on one another once I remove the part that I added that isn't. I would never place it like this either. So let's copy, let's rotate up. Okay, there we go. So this one is a copper lane. So this one would connect here. This one would connect here. The patches, if I'm doing a connection like this, the patches are not this close to each other, which makes this a lot simpler. Hello, Boots. Welcome, welcome. And then this is the fueling line. This goes here. Okay, that's good. And now we take the left side, which is this one, we paste it here. And this would realistically be somewhere like right here in this scenario. And the coal part's actually really easy to do with this left-hand side. So I think I should just remove this belt. Redoing all of the copper connections would be very tedious, but redoing this coal connection is easy. But yeah, these ones, everything's going the wrong direction. I don't want to have to redo that. So we're just going to do this for the coal. We're going to send it this way. And then coal's actually going to be on the top. And then we're just going to do a red belt for now, which should just go through here. We don't need that. We'll move that. We'll replace these with undergrounds later. Just trying to get this spacing at the moment. Okay. So it would look something like this. And then our connection points would be here. Yeah, so this is where I want them to line up. So this would stop. Yep, that's right. That's perfect. And then it switches to undergrounds. Well, not switches to undergrounds, but I mean kind of switches to undergrounds. Do you think you'll finish this before the DLC comes out? Do I think I'll finish it? Yes. I do think I'm on pace to finish it before the DLC comes out. I don't know if I'll be on pace to do the run. I think I'll finish the base, but I can't commit to a 12-hour window for a while. And I won't know more for a few weeks. But yeah, I won't be able to commit to like a 12-hour run without breaks for a while. So I think the base will be done. I won't be necessarily be able to do the run. We'll know more in a couple weeks, or I'll have more details in a couple weeks. But we'll see. But we're definitely on pace to finish the run. Finish the base by October. Should be okay. Because we're honestly, we've made a lot of progress with it. We're just trying to like refine the outposts. Yeah, we're taking a lazy approach right now for this design. And we're just using some extra belts. So this uses, oh yeah, this is like 40 extra red belts for how much easier it is to set up. I think that is a very fair price to pay. No, I'm glad I went with this. I thought it was going to be a lot more extra belts, but I can't turn down. I can't turn this down. This is so easy to set up than having to redo all the connections for very little loss. Okay, cool. I'm pretty happy with that then. Okay, so this is what we're trying to set up right now. This is inputs from two sides. We have inputs from one side. And we have inputs from one side, but it's the other side. That's basically the connections we have to make. And then I'm trying to get a better estimate of the actual belt count versus the under belt count, which does matter a little bit. I think these are no longer pastable on each other. I think I need to redesign the entry point a little bit. But that's very easy to do. We'll do that next time. Okay, so that is one from each side. This is two on the right. Then we'll do two on the left. So with two on the left, we want the larger outpost on top, the smaller outpost on the bottom. That's should be pretty easy to do. That's not right. That's Wait, is this a logarithmic or to some degree or exponential to some degree? It is. Okay, that explains. That explains why it went up so much. Why are there green circuit assemblers over a stone mine? Do you not need that mine? Oh, so this is for outposting. Um, Everything that isn't an iron or copper patch doesn't matter. So by this point in the run, we'll just be pasting this outpost 20 times, and this will be covering a lot of stone patches like this. Currently, we're redesigning the outpost to work in two directions right now, because right now it is asymmetrical, and it cannot be done. It can't be used on the left and right. So this stone mine is mostly a copy and paste mistake. Yeah, I wouldn't say a mistake. It just I just copy the entire chunk generally whenever I copy a design, because it's you don't have to wait for fuel to repopulate if you just clone the whole build, and that includes the resources. Yeah, we won't even have those enabled actually. Uranium mines, I mean. Okay, so for this one, larger's on the bottom. For this one, larger's on top. Cool. Yeah, we'll probably be covering iron and copper patches too, especially if they're small or like right here. If it actually looked like this, we probably wouldn't be able to use it because there would be too much overlap in mixed mining. But yeah, there's a lot of patches. Like coal patches we'll be covering, uranium, well, uranium we won't have, but stone. This patch would 100% be covered because it's too small to use. We'll be ignoring probably at least half of the patches that are out there. Okay, that's good. Let's copy this down again. That goes there. Okay. That would not paste well, actually. We need to use extra entities, which I know seems a little bit weird, but we also need the connections to be fairly straightforward. And something like that would break all of our blueprints we have for connecting them, so we need to make sure there's like one connection here we can use. We could also try mirroring this, but honestly, the savings are not that high compared to the time investment. But being able to do two outposts on one side is pretty big. It's pretty useful. Whereas saving 5 entities isn't that useful. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit annoying to connect actually. So we need to cross 3 yellow belts or 3 red belts. So those would have to be here. They're going to go to the left. We need 1 yellow belt going right and possibly 1 yellow belt going to the left. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll need another yellow belt going to the left. Okay. Wait, do we? Yeah, this is nothing on the right. Okay, so this would actually go to the left, so we don't need this one anymore. Would it be better to have input compressors so that you don't have to worry so much about big on top, small on bottom? I don't think the cost would be worth it. Because compressors are fairly expensive, right? I guess if they're coming from the same side, maybe it wouldn't be that bad. Because we could combine them like right here, right? Yeah, I guess worst case scenario is what, five splitters? Does that increase our splitter count at all to multiple stacks? Okay, it's still under a stack of splitters. Yeah, we could probably do that. Yeah, that would definitely. Well, I don't. With the way the blueprints are set up for how I'll be pasting them, I don't think a compressor really solves much. I don't know if that would help. Hmm. Not sure. It's a strong maybe. But basically, what it boils down to is when I'm connecting this patch, I'll be using a separate set of blueprints than when I'm connecting this patch. And with the way those blueprints are designed, with yellow belt, red, yellow, but going in specific directions, I don't think having them converge to one point would make me that I don't would make it that I don't have to still think about the belts. Now there is a way I could make it that I don't have to care about that if I'm willing to waste some undergrounds with every design. So that it is a very distinct possibility that we could just waste 100 undergrounds every time, and then connections get a lot easier. So that is a possibility. Compressor plus yellow, red, yellow. Then that would, what's symmetrical? Symmetrical is not the right word. Is it the right word? No. Rotationally symmetrical, maybe. We'll look back at it once we make the actual blueprints. But with the way I have them set up right now, or once we double check the blueprints, but with the way have it set up right now, I can't think of how to make that work. But I think it can work. Let's see. So these go to the right. This goes to the right. This goes to the left. Okay, so this one would just come from this. Okay. Let's make that an underground. And then that would go here, and then it would line up. I probably want them to connect here, actually. There we go. Wait, that's not what I want. I wanted it to look like this. And this also just has to do with how the connections will look with the belts. Although that one's not that picky. Now this should just be able to be reversed then. Okay, so this would then connect down to this one. Okay, so that can connect there. Or it can connect here, which is a little bit easier. And then it can go up, and then it can go around the corner. Okay. Okay, so that one's good. And now we need the two red belts, which should be a lot even easier because it's just cheaper or easier to connect because they can go longer distances. They do need to go over one more tile though. Okay, that one can go over there. That's not a full length, so I should just cut it. The red belt's expensive enough for the most part that I don't like doing non-full lengths if I have an easy way to avoid it. I mean, we still do a lot of non-full lengths, but when it's just an easy fix, there's no reason not to. Okay, now we can just copy this a little bit. Paste, 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 and paste. And then this one should look like this. And that, again, has to do with how our blueprints will look. Don't forget to fix the underground of the yellow belt. I don't remember messing up a yellow belt. So I definitely forgot. This one goes the other way. Okay. Oh, wait, these need to be swapped now. So this actually goes up here. Right side connection, there's an underground block in the way. Okay. So this actually goes here. And then this one stays on the bottom. Yeah. Okay. And this, again, just has to do with the blueprint alignment I was talking about. So this goes to the left. That goes one more. Let's do one more stretch here. Yeah, I want the connection to be the same, so we'll cut it here. I think would be good. And then we copy it, paste it, copy this one, and paste it. Okay. There we go. Same left alignment. Right side connection, underbelt is blocking the way. Oh, I see. Yes, thank you. I would have 100% forgotten that. Okay, I think I can shift this up, actually. I don't think it's realistic that it'll be that close. If it is, it's not that hard to do. But we can assume that they're going to be pretty far most of the time. Underground, underground. Those are going the wrong way. When did I swip? Okay, it wasn't going the wrong way the whole time. That's good. And then this one is the fuel input. Okay. Don't know why that ghosted. I didn't even know you could ghost in editor mode like that. Cool. Not useful, but I guess cool. Okay. So yeah, that's my solution to make it that I can do 2 on the left, 2 on the right, or 1 on the left and 1 on the right. The actual connection's way faster than just setting it up in the first place, because all the stuff, the confusing part that I set up here, like this part crossing to the center, doing this weird like curve on the side where I broke the underbelt, those aren't things that need to be done during the run. During the run, all I have to do is connect here to here. So this stretch of 3 belts to this stretch of 3 belts, and this stretch of 4 to this stretch of 4. And this does waste, I would say, this one wastes about 25 undergrounds of each. Doesn't waste any splitters, but yeah, about 25 undergrounds of each. This one wastes about 20 reds. But this one also actually saves a lot of yellow, which is, I guess, nice. Yeah, that's not that much. That's a 5 to 10% increase in what we send to the outpost. Honestly, shouldn't make a difference because we have to round up to 400 anyway. Okay, so now we have left and right side. And the idea... okay, the way that I did it, I actually didn't make it that I can just place an adapting blueprint. I could probably redesign it that way, but currently the way it's set up, I have to choose which blueprint, left, right, or double. Or left, right, or both, which that's really not a problem. That's really easy to cycle between. But the other option would have been to make it that only this section was different, which it's a more costly way to do it. Because, like, you know, I saved, like, this belt here, and I saved a lot of yellow belt here. If I didn't do it that way, what I could do is have just this blueprint, and then the side crossing is just an additional blueprint that is literally just this section, which wouldn't cause any lag when I place it. However, I don't think this is large enough that it'll cause much lag anyway. But now we can look at the designs. So this one, let's see, 150. We need to compare all of them now to see which ones use to just get like the highs. They're not going to be that staged. The only stages that they'll have will be stage 0, which will have the rails, the chests, the roboports that I place by hand. And by place by hand, I mean with personal roboports. And then the fuel lanes are probably going to be in stage 0 as well. So if I can, my person will place as much of them as possible, but that will just make it that fuel starts a little bit earlier. But there's not going to be more than 2 stages. It's just going to be the stage for me to place personal robots, and then one more stage after that. Just because these take too long to set up to really worry that much about staging. And even without staging, they still build pretty fast. It's like this whole thing builds in like 3 to 4 minutes. For just the assemblers. So like staging something to do this and this, I don't know. Couldn't really justify it. It's a pretty small time save for something that I'll be doing with a controller. In fact, I think it's small enough that I would actually lose time because I think we'll be mechanically limited at this point in the run. Honestly, make it that the crossing copper belts are identical. One less blueprint, one less thing to mess up. Uh, Probably just it depends. Probably just the one. Maybe another one after. I was going to do it. I was planning to do it multiple times, but then a lot of stuff happened, so just my schedule is a lot busier than I expected. So I don't know if I'll actually be able to, because I wanted to do 2 or 3 runs before the expansion, but since I can't run until basically the expansion now, that I don't know what my goal is. Not really. It's been like 6 months since I've really been working on it. Like I did a couple stuff. I did a couple things, but like you got to keep in mind when you say like it's been a whole year, it sounds like I've put a lot of time into it. I put 2 to 4 hours a week. Like it's not like I've been working on it day and night for like a year. I've been working on it for like a couple hundred hours maybe, like just a few hours a week. It's really not been as massive as a time investment as chat seems to think. Yeah, it's not as much time. Yeah, when you compare to an actual 100% base where it's like 16 hours a week for a year, it's not nearly that crazy. It's still a lot of time investment for like what might just be a one-off 12-hour run. Late stage plans are also easier than early stage plans. So it's not about making the staging that's difficult. It's about having to place a blueprint through a map with a controller. So like I could set up the staging for this very easily. Oh wait, are you just mean late you just mean planning in general, not staging as in like not staging blueprints. Gotcha. Okay, never mind then. Yeah, late stage definitely easier than early stage. Everyone knows that. Things get easier as you get closer to the end. But yeah, I'm hoping we can do multiple runs. Um, I'm imagining we'll do a run and then we'll probably redesign it for 2.0 since that will save a lot of logic. I don't know how achievements will work with 2.0. I'm assuming yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming the new achievements they'll add will just be for the expansion content and maybe base game will be the same, but I really don't know for sure. But that's my guess. Yeah, I don't think I like how I save entities here. Hopefully with 2.0 I could upgrade to blue belts. Yeah, we're gonna bring in the meta of using blue belts in 100%. We only need burner inserters to make them viable. What do they even cost? I know they're not cheap, but I don't know how much more expensive they are. Oh, well, actually, it's not as big of a jump between red, yellow, and red. I will say that, right? So this is 40 iron. Now this is about 30, what, 36 iron? This would be about nine. Well, this is 98 if we're comparing them like per unit, per unit moved. So we scale this down. This is like 180. Okay, so it is like double. No, never mind. It's double, basically double, double, double. Yikes. That sounds like a sandwich. Might. Ooh. Well, no. I wouldn't be running it in the expansion. So any new building, for the most part, probably will not be in 2.0. It's going to be in the expansion. And I wouldn't be using this base for the expansion. I would be running it in Factorio 2.0 with the quality of life changes. I doubt those will include. I they're not likely going to include like the green belts or the stack inserters, stuff like that. But it will likely. I mean, it might. I don't know if they said for sure, but I think it's unlikely that any new content will be included base game other than quality of life. Like oh no, there might still be one. It just won't be this design. But I think this base being adapted to 2.0 would work well because we could remove a lot of the safety logic for inserters, like right here. We could remove almost all this logic because they're increasing the extension rate of inserter arms very significantly. So burner inserters won't struggle to grab from red belt. They won't struggle to grab from underground, stuff like that. Yeah, if they redo the achievements at 2.0, that changes it. I figured my guess was that achievement changes are only going to be for people who buy the expansion. And then everything else is just going to be the same achievements for the base game. So like this so my guess was, my prediction is these 38 will be the same in 2.0. But if you do the expansion, it adds a lot more. Like legendary fish or whatever it is, legendary Spidertron, I don't know which one it is. But yeah, I definitely want to do burner only space age. It just won't be with this design. Yeah, they should. Ooh, they'll be able to pick up from blue belts. Interesting. Oh, I didn't realize. Well, I don't know. Picking up from blue belts and picking up from blue belts safely, they might be two different things. But I like. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll hope that it works. Because like I imagine one burner could grab from a blue belt, but I wonder if this would make it not be able to. Or this. Like this with a blue belt still might be impossible. Because they would have to like really increase the extension rate. But a single one grabbing from a blue belt, I could definitely see that happening. And who knows? Hopefully I'm wrong, and they actually fixed scenarios like this. But I'm not sure. That would require a very, very huge boost to inserter and extension speed, considering they can't even do that with a yellow belt at the moment. I love these things. Okay, so this is alpha. Yeah, I don't think I like the entity savings I did. I'll have to fix that a different time. Probably offline. I'll probably fix it offline by next stream. Because we still have enough detail that we can start planning our actual base. We know roughly how many undergrounds we need for the different designs. So it looks like 200 is a reasonable goal if the bases are close. Looks like we're looking at about 1,600, about 1,600, so we'll need 1,700 undergrounds. Underbelts, or regular red belts. Honestly, 200 of that looks like it'll be more than enough for any of our designs. Because we only really need red underground belt for any turn, which we won't have a lot of. I think the most you could possibly have is 1, 2, 3 turns, right? Otherwise, you're going to the other side of the base. So yeah, 200 red belt will be good, which I think is what we have right now. We could even lower it to like 150, saves a little bit of iron, but we don't have to worry too much about that. They're relatively cheap. I think we'll need to do some. We'll need to get like an average. We'll have to go through and paste 20 patches on a real run, and see how many undergrounds we use. On another, should we play some input-output tracks for segments to decide where around the outpost needs to be reserved for training? Oh yeah, yeah, that will be done. Actually, I messed it up already. Yeah, we're supposed to have something like this for each of them. But that'll come for next time whenever we try to get actual distances. But yeah, there we'll have something like that. I think we'll at least have the tracks extend down to here and up to here, which does waste about 30 track, but we can also recover that track because that's just on our personal. It doesn't add anything to our train, so we can do whatever we want with the tracks. I think as long as we have if we do the track first, I think it'll be easy enough to just smart belt over it. But yeah, I'm not too worried about the getting around the train tracks. But I think worst case scenario, we just swap to regular belt and we just smart belt over a gap. Okay, that was a terrible example because we're in editor mode. We don't have anything. But yeah, we'll definitely have the train first. And without having all of the rails pre-placed, I think we just have to accept we'll have to do some manual building to do the final like stretch. I don't know what they do. Well, they use a mouse and keyboard, so theirs doesn't need to be that easy because it's very easy to just do something with a mouse and keyboard. With a controller, I probably have to be a little bit more lenient. Could also just be a segment at the end that curves to connect in. Oh, like just have it here and not worry about the other halves? Or did you have something else in mind? Because the main thing is that I also need to make sure. I guess it would be more like this. I know that's what they do. The main thing is I have to make sure I can also get the undergrounds through very easily. Because I'm realizing now I have undergrounds connected on the top and the bottom. Should I redo that? I could redo that. If I make it that this connects up here and then goes down, I think it makes it that the train is very consistent to place. I should probably do that. Like if all the connections are above the track, I know where I can build and where I can't. At the end of the curve, leave that belt and delete the rest of the curve. Oh, then you have a target to get in, but don't have it. Oh, so it just makes it that it's easy for me to click on, but I don't always have the rail. Yeah, because I guess all you really need is one curve. Just one curve to easily click onto. One curve plus a straight rail. Make all rail connection... No, make all belt connections above the track. I really think that's something we should do. Because right now, whatever we do, we have to do weird train stuff to get out of this. Yeah, we really need to shift everything above the track. That's silly. I wasn't even thinking about that, but it's gonna cost us a couple dozen undergrounds. Not that much, but boy, will it make the connections a lot easier. So combining that with the curved rail, I think that'll fix it. So we'll do that next time. But that's it for me today. Curved rail or easier connections. But yeah, that's it. That didn't save. There we go. That's it for me today. Hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.